It's human beings talking to human beings about the human experience.
I love it. I love it.
And that's what I see Invisible is all about, is the human experience.
Yeah. That's what I strive to create, are stories that deal with the human condition, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched the trailer multiple times and I've gotten a chance to be able to see it. I'm really pleased to get this opportunity to be able to talk with you and to learn about your journey in filmmaking, your journey into this particular piece, because it's such a collaborative art. I mean, I love this. This is like a symphony. Filmmaking is such an intricate web of collaboration.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. It
Wonderful.
really is a collaboration. And I always, whenever I'm, talking about the film, whether it's online or, in my social, I always say, thank you so much to my cast and crew, because you can't do anything, by yourself. It's not, no man is an island when it comes to filmmaking. That's for sure.
No, and it's extraordinary. So let's get into the film. We're going to get an opportunity to show the film and to show your trailer of it, and then we'll discuss it on the other side.
Oh,
That
great.
sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
You going somewhere?
I'm heading up north for a while. Gonna see if I can find David.
Whatever he did to you, he was once your friend.
I'm looking for David Sandstrom.
Yeah, no worries. I'm a friend of his.
You know, that behavior was self-destructive and we weren't paying attention.
We were having fun.
You guys know each other?
No, he just interrupted my meeting.
I've been looking for you.
I know that he was hanging out with David. Word on the streets was that they were hot rolling.
I'm looking for David.
David?
You said that he's alive. Just tell me how you know.
Want me on my knees?
I assume you're his drug dealer?
You spend all day figuring that one out.
I basically need his signature on a couple contracts, and he's got some money coming his way.
Something is going on here that I don't understand.
Maybe it is about the money. Maybe Slut knows about it and he's keeping David in the dark so he can collect the money.
Hello?
What if someone is purposefully keeping David sick?
Whoever creates the publishing entity will collect the money.
John?
You're just like everybody else. You said you would never hurt me, and I let you in!
There we go.
But he wasn't bidding on this dog! He was bidding on me!
They lied to me, Heather.
Get the hell out of here! Where is he?
Do you think I'm crazy for trying to find him?
Mm-mm.
Maybe there's nothing left of the David I know.
That is powerful.
Thank you. I love it.
What were you going to say?
No, I just said I love watching it. We had a composer make a soundtrack just for that trailer, and it just sounds really great.
I was watching you while you were watching the trailer. I mean, to see something as deeply personal as a film that you wrote, and what an astonishing experience for that.
Yeah. Writing and directing a film is much different than directing a film that someone else wrote. That is definitely for sure.
Take me through the genesis of this film as you were bringing it from the idea to the page to development and having to get funding in the process that you're doing. Tell me about it.
So Invisible is based on real people and events. It's not a completely, it's a fictional story.
Yes.
But it is based on real people in my life.
And the directors that I followed, the directors that moved me, do write and direct out of their lives. It's not always autobiographical, but it is certainly, it resonates, it rhymes.
So some years back, I lost a friend to drugs and alcohol. We all know that story. During COVID, I went searching for him, only to find out that he had become homeless and addicted to meth, and at that point, nowhere to be found. And I had a lot of guilt and shame and anger because I felt like maybe there was something I could have done to have helped him, to have saved him. And so I wrote Invisible as a form of catharsis for that pain that I was feeling. The story is about CB, who is wonderfully played by Zebedee Rowe, an Australian actor, now in America. He was just so much fun to work with. And CB is searching for David, the friend that he lost, and he runs into Heather, who is played by Rachel Allig. And that is a powerful performance. Heather suffers from CRPS. It's a pain disorder, pain disease, which is complex regional pain syndrome. And it's been regrettably labeled the suicide disease. So Rachel meets CB, and through their shared pain, they form this unique connection, and they decide to go and investigate David's disappearance together. Well, they go down a rabbit hole with a drug dealer, as you saw in the trailer, a meth addict, and a crazy knife-wielding blonde. And so the suspense and the drama unfolds.
You write this film. What happens? It's a written piece. What happens that were you able to option it out there? What did you do in order to get it to this particular stage, to get it just into pre-production?
So when I wrote the script, I started to show it to people. And I had some money that I was going to put into the film. And then I ran into someone that I'd worked with before, Rob Sweeney. And Rob is the cinematographer on this film. Yes. Rob did Entourage. He did Blackish. Okay. Yeah. And Rob is an amazing cinematographer. And we worked together before on a short film called A Package for Me. That film won the top prize at Beverly Hills. It was invited to Asia to show in festivals. It was in a bunch of festivals. And I showed Rob the script. I was thinking that maybe he would become like a mentor on the film. Maybe he would, be like somebody that I could, ask for, help.
Could I get your advice on that?
He said, I love the script and I want to shoot it. And I said, Rob, I can't afford you. And he said, let's make this film. So at that point, whatever money I had, I decided to greenlight it myself with AON Films, my film company, and we went into pre-production. A lot of people told me to wait. A lot of people said, you don't have enough money. A lot of people said, this could be a much bigger film. And I said, I want Rob Sweeney, and Rob Sweeney is available now. And he might not be available a year from now. He's going to get on another big show. He might get into a big feature. And I wanted him. And I thought he could help me tell the story. And he did.
That is just wonderful. And then you were able to cast this cast together. And was there the rehearsal process? As a filmmaker, what is your process? Once you get your cast and you begin to cast, are you a rehearsal director? Do you shoot? What do you do? Tell me about it.
Well, you know, everything is based on time and money. If you have
Exactly. We can do 6 weeks of rehearsals and well, maybe not.
I'm always watching the clips on, you know, YouTube or on Instagram from the great filmmakers, Coppola, Scorsese, and they're always talking about, or the actors like De Niro and Pacino and Streep. They're always talking about, you know, rehearsing, and back in the day they could rehearse, and now you get to set and you don't even know the person that you're having this intimate, you know, relationship with, and it's like, okay, action. So the first thing, the most important thing is casting,
Yes.
and that the actor really understands the character,
Yes.
and that the actor has the bandwidth for that character. So we had a casting director named Dishley Oscar. She has an interesting name, and she started looking for people for me. And then I had seen a friend of mine's feature film that starred Zebedee Rowe, and I also knew him from he was on a show called Vinyl. It was directed by Martin Scorsese, and I had seen that.
Yes.
So when I saw Zebedee, I already knew that he was perfect for the role. I didn't need to audition him, but he came in and auditioned anyway. And after the audition process, I knew I had the perfect cast. And it was also something that people might not know, but I also had to do what they call, what is it called? The actors would get together and you want to know if they're compatible.
Exactly, because chemistry is so
chemistry
important.
test. Thank you. Chemistry test. It's like back in school. You want to know if they are working together. And we had some actors that were working not so great together, so we had to change it up a little bit for chemistry.
Absolutely.
Once we got on set, that was the next time we really had the opportunity to start rehearsing. And of course, while the camera is being set up, I'm talking to the actors. We're running through the lines. And prior to that, we're on the phone together. We're talking. If they have any questions, they can ask me. Where's this character coming from? What's going on? And we talk about their personal lives as well. I always think it's very important, if you want your character to really feel like it's coming from you, get in touch with something that you've gone through, something in your own personal life. So we get very intimate when it comes to that.
Where are you going with this film? What does it look like going forward and getting it out there so that people can enjoy it?
So I held back for a little while on the film because I wanted the film to be seen by as many people, and I wanted it to be in good hands. And we were very lucky to sign an agreement with Indie Rights Films. Michael and Linda over there are just amazing people, and they signed a deal with me for worldwide distribution. So I'm delighted to tell you that on September 2nd, 2025, this year, Invisible will be out on all digital platforms. So you can see it on Amazon, on YouTube, on Google Play, all the usual suspects. And I'm really excited because that's all I wanted for the film, for people to be able to see it.
And you have to go out and do publicity. And so
Yeah.
you're getting a chance with this idea of just sitting back, you directed, now you can let everyone else do it. That doesn't happen anymore. This is very much, you have to be a hands-on auteur.
I don't want to say this because it's not, I don't want to be self-deprecating, but I am a little out of my wheelhouse. Being in front of the camera, talking about the film as opposed to directing it. I also edited the film. So I was living with it for so long, and now I'm talking about it. So it's very different than pitching the idea at the beginning or talking about it in its, incipient stage where you just are talking about something that could be. Now you're talking about something that is real and tangible and done.
And now that it's out there, what your Nadine Jolson, your publicist, is getting some wonderful opportunities to get you to go out there and to talk about the film and to talk about which are you taking him. What is your thrust? The things that you want us to know most about this particular film that you're taking out?
Well, first of all, the character of Heather she's suffering from, I think I told you, CRPS.
Exactly.
And I also suffer from an invisible illness. I suffer from something called CMT, which is a degenerative neurological disease, which I inherited from my family.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I had this for most of my life. It only just recently came about that I understand that I have this. And it's caused me a lot of problems. I used to be a very good guitar player. Now I struggle playing guitar. There are things that affect me. But what's interesting is when I met this woman, her name is Katie O'Leary. She was the one that inspired the character of Heather. She is a real sufferer of CRPS. And she had said to me when I first met her that I suffer from an invisible disease. I had never heard that term before, invisible disease. And the characters in my movie talk about it in the same way. And then I realized that I also was suffering from something invisible. And when I started to look at it, my friend who was suffering with something invisible because I couldn't recognize it. And I think it's so important for us to understand invisibility when it comes to the suffering of people around us and ourselves. And I want that to be at the forefront of what people experience. And I've been so blessed to have heard people come out of the film after watching it and say, wow, I had a friend who ... I had a family member who ... and it really touches a lot of people. And that's so important to me.
I have a family and friends who suffer from chronic pain. So I understand it as the invisible. There is even a 12-step group called Chronic Pain Anonymous that is around the world that helps people who have these invisible diseases because it's impossible to be able to know what it's like, and then we can't see it. It's what a wonderful way through your film to bring attention to this.
And also, just to let you know, when I started to make the film, it was so tantamount for me to be honest about CRPS. I didn't want to just make a character that had it. I wanted to know everything about it. And so I started reaching out to the pain community. And I sent them the script before we shot it to make sure that CRPS was being shown in a true light. And not only that, but an organization called RSDSA, they're related to CRPS. They actually helped me with props for the film, posters and pamphlets that you see in the movie and wristbands that you see in the movie. I wanted it to be authentic, and they helped me as well. They were also there when we won the award for the Awareness Festival. They were actually there with me at the Awareness Festival. They had a table, and so they've been part of this as well.
Well, what have we not talked about Invisible that you want to make sure and talk about on this particular show with us?
Some of the characters maybe we could talk about.
Sure.
There's a drug dealer who is played by Ryan Welsh. He's a Scottish actor now in America. Very scary character. The drug dealer's name is Turkish. And Turkish and CB run into each other a couple of times in the film. Turkish is trying to get money from CB. He's playing him. We get to understand that he's not a good guy. And at one point, CB just has enough and he goes after the drug dealer. And we had a stunt coordinator on set. Thank God for that, because it got a little heavy and a little bit violent. So we had a stunt coordinator for those action scenes. There's a character named Rebecca, who was at one point David's wife. We think that she got married for papers. That's what everyone thinks, but Rebecca has a different story.
Yes.
She's played by this wonderful actress, Julia Shmushkova. And so she's being accused or blamed for getting David involved with meth. And she gets very angry, and she pulls a weapon on CB in the movie. It's kind of a scary moment. What's a kind of a funny story is that during the audition, Julia brought a knife to the audition, and it wasn't in the script at all. There was no knife. And of course, now there is a knife in the story, because I thought it was brilliant. And she just brought it in. I was like, let's do this.
Oh, how wonderful. As a director, are you listening for things that an actor or when they're connecting, when something happens that's magical, and you go, yes, I want that?
A lot of directors, they're so sticking to the script. They want everything planned out. On my set, there's a little bit more room for discussion, a little bit more room for improvisation.
Sure.
So when an actor has an idea or says a line a little bit differently, but it still has the context that I'm looking for, I don't get on them about that. I'm very much in an improvisational mood at all times, because I mean, the greats will tell you, right? It's that you never know what's going to happen on set.
No.
And you have to be prepared for anything. It could be the greatest take, and it was a problem with the camera. It could be the worst take, but there was a moment that you can use in post-production, in the editing room.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I like to keep it light, and I like to keep it intense and meaningful and purposeful. But I don't need to stick to every word in the script. I don't think it's Shakespeare or anything like that.
Thank you, Matthew, for this opportunity to be able to get to know you on this process. I hope that as you continue in your career, you'll consider coming back again and talking about what you're doing and how you're creating and the joy that you're having in doing this.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. And if your audience wants to see me, or get in touch with me or follow me, I'm on Instagram at Invisible the Movie, but it's INV dot and then the rest. So Invisible the Movie, but INV dot.
You bet.
And I'm also at aonfilms.com. That's all or nothing, aonfilms.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can follow me, and don't forget it.
We'll make sure and have that in the console so that people will be able to do it. Matthew, thank you so much, and congratulations. And I can't wait to see where this is going.
Thank you, Dennis. I really appreciate this.